ISIL militants certainly appear to be ramping up their resistance against this impending offensive on them in the city of Mosul. We are hearing of suicide squads being sent into Mosul from neighboring Syria. Residents in Mosul who are able to get information out have been speaking of hundreds of new arrivals over the last 2 days wearing very distinctive uniforms as well as suicide vests. They've been rigging the bridges in the city with bombs, as well as placing dozens of car bombs throughout the city. Meanwhile, people have been able to flee the line of fire south of the city in the area of Qayyada. About 1,000 people escaped from the line of fire, meeting up with Iraqi forces who took them to processing centers and then to refugee camps. Many of these refugees speak about walking all through the night.
My brother was killed by Daesh because he wanted to join the security forces. Anyone who wanted to join the security forces would be killed. They took a lot of people. They carried them in pickup trucks, and I have no idea what their fate will be.
Meanwhile, the United Nations has come out with a very, very difficult report about the atrocities committed by ISIL in and around the Mosul area. They speak of villages where bodies have been found of civilians thrown into rivers. One village, they found 70 bodies riddled with bullets. Another report speaks about 50 police officers that were killed in Mosul over the weekend. All of this information has been compiled from civilians and government officials in and around Mosul, of course, all of whom are remaining nameless. As well, we can't, of course, forget the devastating story we heard last week. Only days into the offensive, ISIL collecting upwards of nearly 300 men and children and executing them in the city center. This, of course, all in anticipation for that deadly battle ISIL is prepared to fight to defend the strategic city of Mosul. Natalie Carney for CCTV in Erbil, Iraq.